Podcast Network Asia.
You are listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast, where we feature timely and relevant discussions on the Philippine stock market and the economy in the hope of providing you investing and trading guidance. Here's your host.
Hi investors! This is Anjz from First Metro Securities. If you're looking for trade ideas or just wondering which names to keep an eye on, then you're in the right place. Today on Market Bites, I'll walk you through some key points from our latest company update on Robinsons Land Corp. We are maintaining our buy call for RLC with target price raised to 17.70 pesos as we roll over our valuation base to next year. RLC reported 1H25 net income of 6.9 billion pesos, down by 5.1% year-on-year. Adjusting for the one-off gain from GoTime in 1Q24, wherein core income rose 5% year-on-year, in line with our estimates. Let's go over some key takeaways from the 1H25 results. First, malls remain RLC's primary growth driver due to strong revenue growth and stable occupancy. Second, offices continue to recover, aided by improving lease terms and occupancy. Third, residential saw mixed performance, with revenue up 33% year-on-year and take-up down 48% year-on-year, due to a high base from the Mira project. Excluding this, take-up rose 14% year-on-year and demonstrated sequential growth of 178% quarter-on-quarter to 2.3 billion pesos, supported by lease-to-own and early move-in schemes. Fourth, a new business unit was launched. They're calling it the Sports, Entertainment, and Recreation SER or SER for short, with Helios Pickleball in Pasig as its first project. And fifth, CapEx reached 9.2 billion pesos in 1H25, allocated to investment assets, that's 3.4 billion pesos, development projects at 2.3 billion pesos, and land acquisitions at 3.4 billion pesos. Now, on the critical data points to monitor, mall and office occupancy remains stable at 94% and 87%. Upcoming provincial malls are expected to be larger, with gross floor area ranging from 40,000 to 60,000 square meters. Ready for occupancy contracted to 4.6 billion pesos in 2Q from 5.3 billion pesos, with lease-to-own emerging as the preferred payment method. Inventory cover remains elevated at around 3 years. No new term launches as core inventory remains elevated. However, projects are at push-button readiness. So, what would make us more bullish on RLC? Aggressive residential launches accompanied by stronger pre-sales, easing residential inventory levels and office vacancy rates, especially in Metro Manila, and monetization of RLC's land bank, especially in Clark, Pampanga. Meanwhile, key risks to our call include a wider discount to RCR valuations, demand destruction resulting in weaker than expected consumer spending, affecting malls, and prolonged challenges arising from exodus of POGOs, greater adoption of hybrid work setup, and or adoption of AI, affecting structural demand for residential and office spaces. Again, that's a buy call for RLC at 17.70 pesos target price. Yeah, and that's it for today's Market Bites. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at First Metro Securities, and on TikTok at FirstMetroSec for more updates. Thanks for tuning in. Hope this has been helpful.
Thanks for listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast. Don't forget to follow us to get first dibs on our new episodes. For more up-to-date market news and info, exclusive content, and the opportunity to connect with your fellow Filipino investors and traders, join facebook.com/groups/FirstMetroSec and be part of the First MetroSec family.
FirstMetroSec is providing this podcast as a general market commentary. Reference to any specific security, product, or entity do not constitute as an offer or a solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any financial instruments or to participate in any particular trading strategy. The statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed by the hosts are subject to change without notice, and FirstMetroSec is under no obligation to update, amend, change, or correct any of the statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed. The statements, comments, views, and opinions expressed by the guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the view of FirstMetroSec. FirstMetroSec disclaims any liability arising from reliance on or reference to any information obtained in this podcast.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.